Hello, this is Reverend Don Lewis coming to you from beautiful Florida. And my goodness, what an interesting weekend it has been. As you may remember, there were a group of witches wanting to do a Trump binding spell last Friday. And last Friday I had published a vlog giving my opinion of this operation. If you remember, my opinion was that it was rather silly and misguided, and that I would not be taking part and did not recommend others to take part in it either. I then went on to talk, among other things, about critical thinking skills and why this act did not employ them, in my opinion, and therefore was not a good idea. And I talked in general about the importance of critical thinking skills, which are very important. I then sat back and confidently waited for the weekend to prove my point in the comments section that the vlog would generate, because I was fairly sure there would be some demonstration of lack of critical thinking skill in some of the commentary on some of the pages where the vlog is likely to appear. What I did not know is that something else was afoot. Later that evening, I began to be contacted by a veritable parade of Corellian grandees and vlog aficionados, informing me that I had become the poster boy for the very spell I was recommending people not take part in. Apparently there were a number of stories published featuring my photo talking about the Trump binding spell. Well, isn't that special? It's certainly an interesting irony that when I have published my position that it's not a good idea and I'm not doing it, that my photo ends up on the story. But that's what happened. And how did it happen? Well, many years ago, I and a number of other prominent Corellians did a photo shoot for Getty Images, which has shown up in a number of news stories over the years. These photos were taken 10 to 15 years ago in my library at the time, and they basically show us all together in our lovely black robes in the cavernous library doing ritual in a relatively impressive manner. Why were they used for this particular story? Well, those stories that I've seen that show photos from the actual event are rather underwhelming. And I assume that the writers wanted something more visually striking, and they went to their source for stock photos and looked up any Wiccan ritual they could find. And they found us because we're probably the easiest ones in the stock photos to find, and included them as their illustration, probably having no idea whatsoever that we were real people. Naturally, many Corellians and vlog aficionados were rather upset by this, and wanted me to know that this had happened, and some of them were hoping that the photos could be removed. Now, I do not hold copyright to these photos, there's nothing I can do about it. But what can be done, if it bothers you, is you can go to the places where they are and simply say, you know, this is a random photo, and the people in this photo do not in fact endorse this action. And you can find their statement here and link to last Friday's vlog, and that would be the best response one could make if one wished to make a response. And in fact, a number of people did exactly that. And they also did this on a number of pages in the Corellian/Witch School system. Particularly Archpriestess Stephanie Neal made a posting on a number of pages saying exactly that this was a random photo attached to an article that it was not connected to, and that the people in the photo, namely myself, Lady Crystal, Lady Virginia, did not support this working. And to find our actual position, just watch the vlog. Now, I had originally thought that we would see some demonstration of lack of critical thinking skills from the vlog itself, but oh my goodness, did this posting generate much better examples. And a number of people, of course, first let me say a number of people did get it and made intelligent commentary, but a number of people did not bother to read the post. They looked at the headline, made an assumption, and then issued very strongly worded opinions, and in some cases took actions based on thinking that the situation was exactly opposite from what it is because they did not read. Now, what does this mean? Why is this an issue? And at one level, of course, it's not. It's not really important. If some people have made a mistaken assumption, well, you know, that's their business, and it will lead them wherever it leads them. But here's the thing about it. If you're going to make a decision based on a posting, it's really a good idea to read the posting and know what's actually in it rather than making a snap judgment based on a single visual. Had they read Lady Stephanie's posting and a number of other postings like it, again, they would have known that the photo was not really connected to the article it was accompanying, and that in fact we had taken the opposite position from the article. But they did not bother to read it and proceeded to run off half-cocked. When you're making a decision based on false information, you cannot really make a good decision. Your decision is going to reflect that false information and will take you, in this case, it will take you exactly opposite from where you might have gone if you had actually read. Now, what does this have to do with critical thinking skills? Well, critical thinking skills tell you that you should actually read it and then make up your mind depending on what you have read. Had they read Lady Stephanie's posting, they would have seen what I have described. Had they read the article, if nothing else, they would have noticed that my name was nowhere on it, nor the name of any organization I am involved in. And if they have followed the vlog at all, they would also notice that these photos are 10 to 15 years old, and I don't even look like this at this point. But a number of people did none of these things and simply made a sudden snap judgment. In life, and particularly when we practice magic, our understanding of our circumstances is rather important. In order to make sound judgments and in order to take good actions, it's important to actually know what's going on. When we make our decisions based on false information or misunderstandings, they're not going to take us where we really want to go because our information is faulty. Critical thinking is all about looking at what you're being told, looking at what you're seeing, questioning it, and reaching the best possible understanding you can reach from it, which certainly does not involve not reading the post. And to issue a very strongly worded opinion on something you have misunderstood really makes you look like a bit of a fool, and in fact involves being a bit of a fool. And I cannot too strongly emphasize the importance for anyone who wishes to be successful, either in the practice of magic or in life itself, of actually thinking through what you're doing, of actually researching things that you're going to base decisions upon, rather than simply making a snap judgment. Snap judgments do not, as a general rule, lead to good resolutions, and particularly when they're based on false assumptions. If you make a false assumption, you really cannot make a good decision from that. And it's very important to therefore consider all of the evidence that is before you and actually take a look at it. When I spoke about critical thinking skills on Friday, as I said, I was expecting some examples, but I have to say I got better examples than I could have anticipated, and I would recommend, if you're interested in that, to go to the pages where the vlog appears, particularly the Witch School International page on Facebook, and look at some of the comments. Some of them are downright appalling. Others are not. Some people, as I say, had a perfect understanding of everything that was going on and made intelligent comments, but an awful lot of them paid no attention whatsoever to what was actually being said and ran off half-cocked. This is not a good thing, either for an individual or for a community. Nothing good comes from making decisions based on false assumptions. In magic, one of the things that's most important is doing shadow work to make sure that you're not working from crossed wires, from false belief systems, from misassumptions, etc. And I can only emphasize how important this is, not only in magic, but in daily life in general. And it seems that critical thinking skills simply are in short demand these days. And this is not good. It's not good for society, it's not good for the country, it's not good for the world. And what can we do about it? Well, I'm not sure there's much that can be done at this exact moment, other than, on an individual level, trying to employ better critical thinking skills. So basically, that's what I wanted to say today. And again, I would recommend having a look at some of the reactions generated from not so much the vlog as the articles that were posted subsequently. And Just notice how often people run off without actually paying attention to what's going on. So those are my thoughts for today. I hope you find them helpful, and until next time, may you blessed be. Hello, this is Reverend Don Lewis coming to you from witchschool.com. Are you looking for the best in pagan and magical education? With more than 12,000 pages, witchschool.com is like having your own personal library with individual learning assistants to help you study. And Witch School's Anyone, Anytime, Anywhere education system is available any place on Earth, anywhere you are and anytime you want it, as long as you have an internet connection. Witch School's lifetime memberships are a great value. They really do last a lifetime. They've been there for years and they'll be there for years to come. So get your membership today at witchschool.com.